I man, I look at this stuff, man, and what's going on right now with all the things that's going on right here in this country right now, and black folks, man, we've been going through this for man since we ever came over here. But why is it now, that it is like it is and it's just exploded, but it's been exploded for us. It has. But maybe it's now because of social media and the media is now paying attention to it. Why are they paying attention to it? We've been talking about this. We've been struggling about this. Because if we hadn't been struggling about this, there would have been no need for the Black Panther Party and, organizations like that. We've been talking about police brutality. So that leads me to a question, man. And honestly, it's a question. It ain't it ain't something that I just came up with off the top of my head, but I mean it's just a question to me. Why are we the most sought out after for destruction of race of people on this earth, man? You know what I'm saying? Especially here in North America. Why? So I come to find out, man, that this is my realization of it. This is only my opinion, and I believe it at that. Black man is the most feared man on the face of this earth. We are. We are the most feared people on the face of this earth. Um, if you look at like, what I'm saying, like the Indians, the Indians. Well, not the Indians. I'm gonna say uh the North American uh, uh, uh indigenous people. You know, they killed them, all of them, and the ones that didn't kill, they put them on reservations. Here, this is the little bit of land y'all can have this here. Well, we're gonna take over all of North America. If you go to South America, they killed all of them, wiped them out. However, you know, uh, killed them physically or killed them through disease or whatever. And the ones that they didn't kill, they kept their women, raped their women, and all that, and try to colonize them through that way. You know, uh, which is very sad. For North America, South America, because you have no more Aztecs, you have no more of the Maya. You know, and that was a great part of history. They wiped them people out. They didn't wipe out the Africans. So my question is, why not? Is it because they couldn't, or is it because they chose not to? And I mean that's an actual question for me to everybody. That's an actual question. Is it because they could not wipe out the Africans? Because the African continent was way larger. It's the biggest continent, way larger than Europe. You know, and they were coming in, by little small pieces. The Dutch, the French, the Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Uh, 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 England. You know, small fractions. And there's something else that's misconstrued, man. Uh, People have in their mind and think that, well, it was some white folks riding on the boat, and we seen these black folks over here. So let's go put them in slaves, go put them in chains, and take them over there. No, it didn't work out like that, man. That's not how it went down. It did. It didn't go down like that. It came from years and years and years and years of indoctrinations. And they came with the first thing they always come with. Just like they come with now, truth be told. They came with the Bible. Roman Catholics, they came with the Bible. And you know, it's a statement that was made. I don't know who made it or whatever, but it was true. It said that the white man came to Africa with the Bible because the black man had the land. The Africans had the land. So when the white man left, he left with the land and left the Africans with the Bible. You know that, but it's still nonetheless, it's something to think about and it makes you think. But back to my question, man, is, you know, how come they didn't do the Africans like they did, you know, all other races and cultures of people? Is it because they couldn't, or is it because they chose not to? Whether or not, I don't know. I don't know. So I look back, man, I look at, you know, how things is now, you know, with what's going on, you know. After Brother Floyd was murdered, you know, and all this other stuff that's been going on, man, you know, all the uprisings and stuff like that. We've been doing that. We've been doing it. Because if we wasn't, I mean, like I said, there would be no need. There would have been a need for a Black Panther Party for self-defense, you know. Why now? It seemed, but I know it's been a powder keg that's been waiting to explode. It exploded before, you know. It's been exploded before. But why now that it's getting so much publicity? Is it because of, you know, social media and it's getting more attention? I don't know. I don't know. You know, that's something to be looked in on, you know. Why is the black man targeted? Out of all people, the black man is targeted. We always have been. Always have been. So I'm thinking, that makes me think to myself, why am I targeted? You know, like Ice Cube said, if I was old, they'd probably be friends with me. But since I'm young, they consider me the enemy. You know? So why is the black man targeted? One thing I do know is that we feared. We are the most feared people on this earth by Europeans. They fear us. And that's the downright truth. White people fear black men. Why, I don't know. But they do. But then too, maybe I do know. If you go back and you look at history, it will kind of give you a projective of why we might be feared by these people. And they might not know why they fear us. But if you go back and they look back in history, they will see why they fear us. And we will see why we are feared by them. So you look. All the way before the transatlantic slave trade, There was a time when we were in Africa, kings owned the land, all of Africa. We owned it. Now, go all the way to Northwest Africa. You could think about Timbuktu and places like that, places that were centers of knowledge where the Europeans came, the people from to where it's called Arabia now came, and they grasped knowledge. They grasped knowledge on science. They grasped knowledge on medicine because we were the scholars and the teachers of the world. And that's a fact. This is not something I'm making up. If you don't believe me, go check it. Do the history on it. So I'm going to bump it up a little bit later. If you go back to the African Moors, because the Moors were African, they went up into Europe, mainly Spain. These are white people, Europeans. Keep in mind, remember that, Spain. They introduced the doctrine of knowledge that brought Europe out of what they were in, was the Dark Ages, and brought them into what they call the Renaissance. They indoctrinated and they taught, because the Europeans were dying. They were dying from disease, lack of nutrition, lack of medical knowledge, definitely lack of knowledge of just how to survive. You know what I'm saying? The Africans brought them out of that and brought them into what was called the Renaissance. But they were in the Dark Ages at that time. And anywhere from 500 to 700 years, the Africans, I wouldn't even say they ruled Spain. They ruled Europe. I wouldn't even say that they ruled, because what they brought was beneficial. It helped them and helped their people. You know, they brought that. They brought knowledge. And out of those Dark Ages into the Renaissance came scholars, leaders in medicine, artists, music. And that's what they introduced. They took them out of the Dark Ages and put them into a new age. And it wasn't until the Crusades till they decided that, hey, we want to get these Africans out of here. Let's go and push them on white. We got what we could out of them, and we where we at. Let's push these Africans on white. And that's where the Crusades came in at. And they did. They pushed the Africans out. Check your history. You ain't got to believe me. And that's why I always say, man, always check your history on things. Don't go off when somebody say, regardless, you respect their word or not. Go off of what you obtain. But anyway, they pushed the Africans out. So guess what they did? Once they got the Africans out of there, boom, here comes Queen Elizabeth. And she started sending out ships. Okay, we got the Africans out, so guess what we finna do? We not gonna do the same thing that they did. We're not gonna try to go educate people and try to bring people out of darkness and bring them into higher thinking. No, we gonna enslave them. That's what, that sucker Christopher Columbus and all the rest of them, I can't think his name. What's his name? Marco Polo, whatever his name was. But That's where they came in at. Um, so they started sending out ships. The Queen started sending out ships, you know. But I think their biggest thing was with the Africans because they had beef. I don't know any other way to put it. They had beef with the Africans. So they went from Europe, went to the West, went down right into Africa. And if you notice, majority of the slaves were taken from West Africa, Northwest Africa, down into a very part of Central Africa. That's about as far as they went. Now they had been sending out, missionaries, on missionary, sending out missionaries and stuff like that. They had been doing that. They had been doing that. That's where it started at. Deception through religion. Because I mean, pretty much what these missionaries were telling them, y'all a bunch of heathen, pagan ass people. If you can't speak our language and you don't believe in our, doctrinations, then you are not of us. Look, we bring gold, we bring silver, we bring you guns so you can defend yourself against the other tribes. We bring you guns. We bring you gold, we bring you silver, and we'll give you backup. Just bow down. That's pretty much what they told the leaders of these people. If you bow down, this is what we'll do for you. That's how it started. They didn't just come over here and say, oh, look at these black folks. Oh, we riding on the ship. Look at these niggas over here. Oh, let's go put them in some chains. No, it didn't work out like that. It didn't go like that. It came through years and years and years of indoctrination, man. To separate these Africans amongst each other, divide and conquer. And that's what they did. And they've been using that divide and conquer method, that divide and conquer way of thinking to make slaves. And even now, to this very day, that same indoctrination is still being used to this very day. It's 2020. But anyway, so if you want that's what they told these rulers. If you want our support, this is what you got to do. And you had, all it took was one or two of them, and that's it. And everything started crumbling from then. So let me take your people over here. And that's how slavery started, man. Truth be told, man, that's how slavery started. We started selling out our own. But I think that, and I've read, from different authors and historians, that if the African rulers would have known what they were sending their people to, it's like a casualty of war, or somebody who was caught up in war. Are they being mistreated? That type of thing, But I like I say, I've read from different historians, man, that if I would have knew what my people were being sent into, I would have never sent them up. I didn't know they was gonna be put in shackles and shipped way over the Atlantic Ocean and be beat. And God knows, man, the inhumane things that would be done to them. They wouldn't have done it. But still, nonetheless, it happened. But guess what? A lot of these Africans that were on these ships were kings, queens, or of the ruling hierarchy. They were of royalty. How can you make somebody who knows that they are somebody into a slave? You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't make no man into a slave. It's not gonna happen. It's not possible. That's where Lynch. That's where that sucker Willie Lynch come in at. Because before they came to North America, they went to South America. They went to Brazil, Cuba. You know, these were the actual first places that they took these Africans to and tried to make them slaves. Wouldn't happen. Went to Haiti. Wouldn't happen. Then they started going to North America. So the white man was at a predicament. He was at a point to where, dang, we got them over here, but they still rebellious. Don't listen, they rebellious. You know why? Because they knew their name. They knew where they came from. They knew who they were as a people and as a person individually. So as long as if you got, that's where Willie Lynch came in. They went, what was he in the West Indies? Something like that. They got in touch with Willie Lynch because they heard about him and his success in breaking men down and turning them into slaves. Well, they were obedient. Keep in mind, I'm talking about a man. So anyway, they wrote this sucker and got in touch with him, and he got back in touch with him. And you know what he told him? First thing he told him off the bat was that as long as you have somebody in bondage who knows who they are, their name, they speak their language, they know who they are. They know who they are. And as long as they know who they are, you'll never make a slave out of them. So what you have to do is erase everything that he knows about himself, all the way down to his name, his language, his culture, his religion. You got to erase all of that. And once he forgets that, even if you have to beat it out of him, once he forgets that, then you have a slave. And it took them motherfuckers a long time. Yeah. It ain't happened overnight. So, I just want to hear, people's opinion about that. I apologize, man, for not being on here, for a minute, but I just want to hear your opinion on that. Holla at me.